Did you wash your ass today?
Mau Mau, hope you be doing good.
I always fuck up the first camera. I always fuck up the first camera. There you go, right on time for the music change. Perfect. Oh, new look. What do you mean new lactation? Oh my god. I take 1 second to read the new chat DMs. Okay, new stream, new place. Kira's already being said. I think some things never change, right? Anyway, chat, say hi. I'm just adjusting the sound. I'll speak in a bit. I don't know how long you're gonna go today, because I've been like really tired. But yeah, this should be fine. Oh. Hi, Fancy Eye, Black Bull, hi, Mars, hi, Porta Boy, hi, Fire School. Thank you for the sub too. I think it was Kira. Yes, Kira. Oh. Why is he standing his second wireless stream? Listen.
I can't talk right now. I'm making piss.
Hey, thank you so much, man. Ben is gonna pay for my trip, basically. Oh my god, thank you, man. God. Oh my god, you got Gwekborn. I'm back in Portland now. I'm in Norway. Hopefully permanently, unless I am murdered here. And it's Goose's fault. I don't know which way to point now, because you're here, but then you're here. So just go to we're gonna do something. Okay, I'm gonna touch you. Right here. So this is your knee. Just put your knee here. Come on, move. Come on. Oh god. There you go. Now we're in the same place. Okay. The problem is, so we played a bit and we're gonna have to, we're gonna have to like learn how to mute and unmute ourselves eventually, because this is gonna get. Can you unmute yourself? Exactly. The good thing is I can abuse her and there's no like, I don't need to take my headset off anymore. There we go. See? This is comfy. Hi. Domestic violence. It's not the hi. There's a dog here. Hello. Hi. You want to say hi to chat too? You missed chat. Oh my god, is that? Hi. I have a dog here. What do you want? You want to say hi to chat? Say hi to chat. Oh, can you hear the dog, chat? You want to sniff you? Why are you kissing me? What is happening? Why are you being nice now? Ow! Okay, he's gone. Ow! Stop! Oh, this is. I think 90% of my streams are gonna be me being harassed. Stop.
Did you wash your ass today?
Chat, we have a new avatar. Look at this.
Show your moldy beans, we all missed you, Snow Avra.
I'm naked. I can explain. I can explain. Hold on, I need protection.
When did you do that?
We stole it. We didn't do it. Hey, hold on. There we go.
Wait, you installed it?
We stole
I
this
like my
avatar.
bill like I like my violence. Domestic. Quoted from Soup.
We're gonna have to come back to this avatar when I'm not naked. Okay, I need to. It's fine. I'm sure no one's gonna like clip this out of context or anything.
Oh, you still haven't done my picture yet. Okay.
Fuck, I forgot. Again.
Wow.
I was that the boobs were not safe for work. Listen. This I honestly I should have checked because this is the first time I use avatar, and that was
Female
probably a
Snowy
good thing
confirmed.
to check. Not gonna lie, that's my bad. Could have been banned. It's fine. Also, Goods is dead. Yeah, she's gone. 07. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna scream into the mic and see if like it double feedbacks. Are you unmuted?
Yes.
Ah! I don't think it works. I don't think it works. Oh, Wolfie, you have internet. Come join, right? And then defend yourself from being naked. Because I see you. It's your fault the avatar does not have default parameters, okay? Oh, you see the size of the play space? By the way? I can actually walk now. Look at this. Whoa. There's like a dog in the way, but like, look, I can move. I can like run over here, like, whoa. Wait, I can like run to chat. Wait, hold on. Do like the slide. Hi. I like this.
My play space.
You don't even share, you can walk around, it's fine. When I was in front of the end, you should have checked. No more perma sitting. That comes later. That comes later. We sit later. Oh! We need to get yoga balls. Yoga balls.
No.
Yeah?
One store. I'm pretty sure they have it there.
Probably. Yeah.
Actually, we need to go there.
But I can actually move. Look, this is cool. I don't need to like... Because like standing still in one
Did
place
you
is
wash
actually
your
way more
ass
tiring.
today?
You can hear her? Well, I can hear you. Can you scream? Are you on the right microphone? Your sound sounds like shit. I think she's on the wrong microphone, chat. Not my fault. No? Really? Oh, Aluminum, thank you for the sub, man. Wow. It's okay, just scream into my microphone.
Beep beep boo boo.
Okay, now it looks fine. This is gonna take some time to like adjust, not gonna lie. Ugh. Yoga balls with the knob. No knob, only yoga balls. And we're gonna paint our yoga balls white. Yeah, I'm moving. Look, so I can do this. It's fine, don't worry about it.
Honestly, I'm not that heavy.
Wow, I am pretty heavy, okay? I need to lose some weight. Company has a free gym, so that's cool. Bro, but yeah, okay, chat. I need to give you some. I need to give chat context. What? 1 second. The dog is eating a ketchup bottle. Is ketchup bad for dogs? I don't know. Oh my god. Did he ruin it?
Did he ruin it?
Oh, he's such a little baby.
Your baby. Like, is ketchup bad for dogs?
Chat. So is ketchup bad for dogs? I don't think. God damn it.
Eaten worse before. He stole fucking pancakes
from you one time.
Oh my god. Oh, I got a hype chest. Oh fuck. Okay, nice. I didn't even fuck. I'm okay. So listen. I turned on some lights. What the fuck? Whatever. It's pan pink now.
It's not bad for doggies. Okay. Well.
He stole the ketchup bottle and he was like sipping on it like a baby bottle because it has a little knob. Yeah.
You suck the tip.
Oh, how was it? Ah, fuck. I completely forgot what I was talking about. I can like pace around now and think.
Oh my god, we can do Twister now.
Twisted. Oh fuck. We need a VR mat though. But anyway, chat. I need to explain. Oh, have a nice look, man. I may do like 2 hours. I don't know yet. This is the first stream in like a week because I moved. So it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be weird. It's just basically catching up with you and beating up Kira and something. I don't know. Oh, I can walk up to you. What? Fight me. Oh. I'm sure it'll be fine. I think the dog just was nibbling on the tip of the ketchup bottle. This is a fucking idiot. Where is it now? It keeps. I don't like this. He's outside. Okay, good. I would make like a dog. Why am I on drugs? What is happening? Why am I? Good, I'm on drugs. What the fuck is everyone shifting?
I don't know. You clicked the rainbow button.
Hey Snowy,
Oh
do
my
you think you
God.
could do that video that I sent you before with Ryloth?
Okay, I fixed it. I fixed it. I fixed it. Okay. I was fucking wondering why. My god. Oh, you think you could do that video? What video? Well, oh my god, look at you. It's Ryla. Did you know that Ryla stole my idea for the Lafilus this stream with the same person? I hope your stream went badly and you like stub your toe. I'm joking. I was good.
Who's pissing?
Don't worry about it. Anyway.
I told you not to piss on the floor. No.
Hold on.
He's pissing on the couch.
I can piss on you, like literally. So don't tempt me.
Why pointing at Kira?
You're there, IRL. Shut up. I don't. My god.
No, actually, I'm right here, IRL. Like where you are right now. Literally.
No, like you're here.
Oh. Wait.
There you go. That is not my fault.
You like piss so much. I ain't fucking.
That is not my fault.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know what the fuck we were talking about. So yeah, I basically drove my car from Portugal up here. It took me like 4 or 5 days. It was interesting. It was like 4,000 kilometers. And it was very draining. France and Germany suck for driving, by the way. I'm just warning you. Your country is a fucking... I hate it so much. I'm sorry. I am sorry, but if you have a car, Germany fucking sucks ass. You have unlimited drive. You have unlimited speed limits, but there's like construction every 5 seconds, like 5 meters. Like you can barely like move. It's so annoying. I'm like, it literally looks like your
Did you
country
wash
is
your
being
ass
built right
today?
now. It's like, what the fuck is happening? Like, why? Like, oh my god, it was so annoying. I had no. Thank you for the tier 1, man. No, like, trust me, Germany, it was so annoying. The data sucked. Like, the phone data completely fucking sucked. There was construction everywhere. Oh my... Like, oh, it was so bad. Literally, Germany was like made yesterday. They're still finishing it. I was like, what is happening here? It's kind of cool, but like, what the fuck?
Something fixed or rebuilt, yeah.
Like, of course, they don't need speed limits because there's like construction everywhere. You can't even reach the speed limit. Oh.
Seek fluid intake.
The worst part of the drive was the trucks. There's so many trucks that go from Portugal to Denmark on the highways. Like, so many. Like, you have no idea. I was basically into, like, the truck, you know, life during that week. And it's insane what those people do. Like, it's insane what they do. Like, holy shit. If you're a trucker, just respect. Best food I had was on a trucker stop. It was nice. It was like chicken with fries. It was like $10 for a whole ass chicken. If only they could better the internet infrastructure. Yeah, Kevin, I'm talking trash about your country because your data sucks and your highways also suck. Come defend yourself. Come on, come over here.
No.
Wait, okay, wait.
Come on, defend yourself.
What exactly sucks?
Okay, so phone data and your highways
That's fair.
and roads, I guess. I don't know.
Actually, phone data? What do you mean? I have 5G in my like little tiny village in the
Oh
middle
yeah,
of
it says
nowhere.
5G, but it doesn't fucking work. Like I don't, I don't know what I don't know what happened. It was so annoying.
My phone. My phone is faster internet than my fucking PC has.
Oh my god.
Yeah, mine doesn't.
It's probably because of all the roads being cut or
150
something.
on my phone.
Oh,
The construction sites on the highway.
so many. Why do you need so many? And like every 5 meters, you have to go into the wrong way, and then you have to drive and like come back. Like, oh look, we have an infinite speed limit. Yeah, if you do it, you like die because you just hit like a construction thing or a crane.
Yeah.
They're gonna give you the rights to other providers. I don't know how it works. The only
Our mobile data absolutely
I was
sucks.
surprised how.
Because Telecom doesn't want to give out
Kevin.
the rights to other providers.
Be careful with how you bend over in front of everyone.
Why?
Because I'm
No,
here.
it's okay. You can do it.
I'm not gonna
Oh.
follow.
You're like, oh my god. Okay, hold on, Kevin. I found a Kevin. I found a coin on the floor. Hold on. I found a coin. This is what you did. Like, what the fuck? What country are we dissing?
I'm
Everyone.
not gonna move.
Every country. So
I was definitely looking.
I was surprised how shit
Wow.
the Spanish roads are. What are you guys doing?
Nah, it's fine. You can do that.
I'm not respectfully looking.
I can go get the plunger now. The plunger is right there.
That's good. That's,
Oh, yeah, I
whoa.
can get my plunger in now. Don't use it.
Kevin picks up the stuff from the floor with him. We need that. We need that. We need like, not for me. Fuck me. You're just gonna. If you guys redeem it, you have to pick something from the floor. I don't know. Chat decides.
What the fuck?
This in Germany. No, so like in terms of roads, Spain fucking sucks. Like at least where I went. Like as soon as you go into Spain from Portugal, the roads just have holes everywhere. It's like super bad. I don't know. And I know this is a cliche, but I felt like the you know the Mexican filter on movies. I felt like as soon as I passed the border, that filter was applied. Everything was yellow. I was weird. It was very weird. It's a Spanish country
It's
filter.
not a movie thing. It's
Literally,
it's
I
just-
passed the
it's-
border and I was like, oh fuck, maybe the movies are right. Shit, I thought it was
Yeah.
like. Then it was fine. France, bro, there's so many tools. Like you have, like France has so many road tools. It is so stupid. Every like 10 kilometers you have to pay something. Like you just keep paying and pay. I think I spent like $300 on tools in France. I'm not even lying. Like I think France was like the most expensive thing just because of that. Which country had the worst bathroom? Spain had no paper and I was upset. I don't know why.
I remember being driven in Andalusia 13 years ago. The roads were better maintained than in my country.
Specifically Portuguese border in Spain, they had the roads up. Maybe they don't care.
That's like a real raccoon massive head tail. Holy shit.
3 seashells. Maybe it's a cultural thing. Okay, it's my fault. I didn't wipe properly.
I'm on a chair.
Good, she's disabled today. She was doing pole things and if like climb the pole or something. I don't know.
She says it's normal.
Then it fell.
I was on. I fell.
I'm joking.
I was the one that climbed to the top. No one else did it.
Fucking rainbow mode, man. What? I hate this menu. Now I'm
Hey,
bright.
you're facing. Listen.
Oh, actually, this looks better. Never mind. This legit looks better. Continue. And anyway, continue. Are you muted? You okay?
I never spoke. You can hear
You
my
were just
voice.
doing this. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting about that. Listen.
Damn, forgot it.
Wow.
Anyway. It's fine. Listen,
Oh my god.
it's not abuse. Okay, it's not abuse
Abuse.
if they like it.
Well, it's still is.
It's not so. Yeah, exactly. It's not abuse if you're into it. Exactly.
I'm definitely peeking at you now because I don't trust
You know what's the? You know what? Speaking about developing, the best country, Denmark. Okay, except Norway, obviously.
Yeah,
But I'm not. I'm excluding the two tips. From all the you're not listening to me. I said from the tips. I'm excluding the tips.
For the tip, yo.
Yeah, excluding the travel
Just the
tips, like
tip.
the fucking the destination and the fuck you.
Yeah,
And
just not
Denmark
the
are
tip.
really happy people. So I actually agree with
So like, okay, I was in Germany, right? I was gonna buy something, and like when you buy something in Germany, here's how it goes. Like, okay, Kevin, pretend you're like buying something, and you just bring it to me, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay. There you go. There's nothing.
$5.99.
That's efficient. That's how it's supposed to be.
This is how they treat you in Germany. I went to Denmark, and the guy is like, "Oh, what are you doing here?" And I'm like, "Oh, we're going to." Like, "Oh, you're going to Norway?" Like, "Whoa, where are you from?" Like, "Oh, I'm from Portugal." And the guy is like, "Oh, I went to here. I went to Lisbon." I'm like, "Oh, fuck, where?" And then the guy is like, and then the
You
guy,
just waste
wait.
time for the other
And then the
customers.
guy,
Take
see the
my
German fucking thing, like, oh, you just
disgusting.
waste time being social. Ugh.
The thing is, Germans hate small talk.
That wasn't
Walmart's
small talk. The guy was like, "You were,"
in
because
Germany.
we were like, we went to the highest point in Denmark. That was super fun. And the guy was like, "Oh, you want to know the story?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh, they something built these and blah blah blah." And I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And then we left. And I was like, "Oh, this is nice." Then it was in German. I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna get murdered here, like on the store, just because I'm not German. And I was like, English, and the guy's like, "No."
That's actually fair.
And I'm like, "Oh, what the fuck?" Literally. I was like, "You speak English?" He's like, "No." $5.99. I'm like, okay, screw this country.
Aw.
Oh, there's cake, and there's a dog trying to eat the cake.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, you can see that. Run. Go.
Okay.
You just see like a body walking. Oh, hey. France, where they hate English. France and Germany hate English. I don't know why. I know it's especially bad in France because they dub everything. They have no English anywhere. France was really easy, but I didn't really do much. Like, I had no time to stop. I did like a 5-day trip. What the fuck? And sons of, yeah, but like you know, sometimes you want like more interaction than just like, you know, I hope you die after you buying this. That's basically what they say to you there. Wow. French stinky. France was fine. I passed by Paris, so I slept near Paris, so I woke up at 6 a.m. because I didn't want to get traffic, and I still got traffic, but it was not that bad. Oh, that's because we have food.
Well, give me food.
It'll be fine. Yeah, so I traveled for 5 days, and the only place I stopped was in Denmark. We went to the highest point, and it's so funny because I don't know if you guys know, but Denmark is super flat. The highest point in Denmark is 170
also, if you
meters
drove
high.
through North Rhine-Westphalia, there are the most people live and thus more are depressed. So don't have too much hope for any small talk.
Oh, that was not any talk at all. But yeah, I went to the highest point in Denmark, and you just climb there, and you just like stare at the whole country, and it's literally just a hill. It's so funny. You can like 360 and you see everything. Huh? I don't want cake. I'm super full. What do you mean, Ayo? I'm oh my god. Did you guys miss me? Do you miss being bullied?
Yeah.
You
Because
still
you are-
bullied me?
True. I bullied Kevin while I was traveling. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Exactly. The fuck?
Denmark is so flat. It was so funny. I don't know why. I got bored mid-trip. Like, I didn't want to, like, you know, stream or do content because trip and I had my mom driving, so you could split the drive because it was very long. So I just rated bedrooms and I took pictures. I don't know why. Kevin, yours is not that good.
What was wrong about mine?
I don't know. There's just something about it. That little carpet is weird. Bad.
Wow. Why? What's about the mats?
Huh? You have the big
Just-
plunger, so it's good. Because your body is doing weird things.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Oh.
I can steal your plunger, Kevin. I'm gonna steal Kevin's plunger.
No.
No, I'm gonna steal Goots' plunger, which is your plunger, maybe? Hi, Crimson, hi! Huh?
It's our plunger, we're sharing it.
One of my friends' bathrooms in Germany look exactly the same as Kevin's. I can see that happening. They're very strict. Every bathroom, it's a law. They like that by law. They get arrested. They don't do the bathroom exactly like that. Yeah.
They're regulated. It's
Hi, Rick.
regulations. You have to do that.
They will like just walk into your house and drag you out if you don't do it exactly like I just said. Huh? Wow, Kevin will beg for your plunger. This is what Good said. I'm just like relaying the information.
I mean, that's fair. She's a great plunger.
I would too, yeah.
Oh my god.
Like, did you see how massive that thing is? It's like enormous.
I just broke my index Velcro.
Have
Oh my
fun.
gosh, how did
What the
you do
fuck? It just came off? Oh my god. Yeah, the top star doesn't work anymore. Hey, chat, we're gonna start a new stream goal to buy a new... What the fuck? I was just use glue or a zip tie or something. Oh well. That's fine. I was adjusting right now and it came off. It literally just came off. To be honest, this asset is like 5 years old or something, so it's... Yeah. The baby's on the way. Listen, no, there's no babies yet. Huh? Don't worry about it.
Why? Wow.
Oh.
Somebody's pregnant.
I keep clicking shit on the... I'm black and white. Am I amazing? No, fuck off.
It's racist.
What do you mean racist? There we go. Your country is racist. You guys hated me. Germany. I mean, Germany hates everyone.
That's true. Especially
I don't even know how these guys are like...
French.
You know what's weird? Because you guys have a lot of fanboys, but you hate everyone. So it's like... This is weird.
Poland has
Like a
more.
weird co. Does it?
We have the most furries though.
Yeah.
Why? I guess like if you wanna like socialize in Germany, everyone hates you, so you just go to the furry community because they talk to you.
Exactly.
Yeah, perfect. I found a ferry, dude. Go. Oh yeah, did you guys see the tweet I posted? I was so I took a ferry from Denmark to Norway. So you can like you go by car basically, and you can skip Sweden because it's like 3 more days. And there was like a Cadillac just in front of me with a furry sticker doing like a Jacko pose, and I'm like, who are you? Who is this person? Yeah, but, I don't know. I wanted to visit Sweden, but like if you go from Denmark to Sweden, you have to go like around the whole fucking thing and then come back to Norway. It's like too much time. If it came with the car, oh yeah, Cadillac did that famously, like back then. Every car in the 70s and Cadillac have a furry sticker doing the Jacko pose on the back. That's how the meme appears. Yeah, exactly.
Mine doesn't.
You don't have a Cadillac, so I mean, you should have bought one. Search Cadillac. That's what I'm talking about. I have a sticker doing the Jacko pose. You should get it and put it on your car. Actually, I'll get it and then I'll put it on your car whenever I see the car. Boy kisser sticker.
Wow.
Yeah, it was fun. Now I'm here. New job starts on the 22nd of April. Everything is pretty much set up. I have my PC here. I brought my PC, 2 big bags, my VR, and clothes. That's literally... I was kind of depressed because like
Mushy.
I put everything on my car, right, chat? Like all the stuff I wanted to take, and my whole life literally was there. It was the car and my stuff, except the motorcycle because it stayed there. I guess you can just exclude that, but like my whole life was there on that car. Like I'm like, this is it. This is like all I did for like 20 something years. Like it's right there. Like I was like, whoa. It's kind of impressive. Yeah, nothing broke. At least yet. My PC is here. I filled up the liquid, the sus cum liquid, the cum cooling that you guys like talking about. And it works. It's on the floor though, because there's no space. I need to get a new desk. Monitors are... Yeah, everything's okay. I mean, everything's okay. Nothing bad happened. Cross his fingers. Except the... Yeah, except the fucking Velcro that literally just broke off. Like, I have the thing dangling. Look. Ah. My god. Huh? The what now? I didn't let him ruin the curtain. Your dog is your dog. Oh my god. Your dog is just needy. What are you doing?
What the fuck?
It looks like you're doing like an Indian, like the, you know the burn, like when you bully people, like fucking.
Yes. Wake up.
You move
What are
now.
your thoughts
Oh,
on the Minecraft movie?
I didn't see the Minecraft movie. Good saw it. I saw the clip. I saw if you cried at the Minecraft fucking movie. I saw.
Oh my god.
I saw the clips, and I'm gonna say this: as a movie, it's bad, but the whole as like an experience, it's good. No. Like it's an amazing experience. No, like you don't. I'm just telling people, don't watch the movie to get like an amazing cinematic. Like it's not like an amazing like whoa. Like it's. What do you do? Can you like leave my face?
Sorry.
Hi.
Oh, hi.
Also, no.
It's actually the trailer that was badly put on together. It's actually fucking good.
Listen, it's not like a fucking amazing movie. It's something that you just go to enjoy. You shut your brain off for an hour, scream at the movie, and it's fun. It's not like what's the name of the movie that's like rerunning now? The Interstellar. Like it's not it's not like a masterpiece. It's just a guy screaming Minecraft names and like doing. It's fun. Like it's actually fun. Movies don't need to be masterpieces to be fun. Like Pacific Rim probably sucks ass, but like
I got the
big
new
things go
Minecraft
boom,
menu from
and it's fun.
McDonald's, and I got an Ender Dragon egg toy arm 22 BTW.
Oh yeah, McDonald's
Smiley
is doing.
face emoji.
McDonald's is doing Minecraft thingies. You can get Minecraft thing toys on the Happy Meal. Oh, did you just yoink Kira? What the fuck? Ah, you got the wrong one. You want to yoink Kevin. Okay. You guys have fun in your ERP, I guess. Bye.
So I put in Kevin, but it went on Kira. I don't know how the fuck what happened.
Well, bye.
Where, Bo?
Abuse.
You should dangle Kevin on the behind the camera. As long as it's just dangling.
Not like you.
Can I have Kevin for a second? Hold on.
Well, he kind of took you away from me. I'm sorry. He took it away. You're being hung.
Get up. You're like inside the camera. There we go.
Snowy's into kinky stuff, yeah.
You should like no Kevin. Just now you should wiggle. Like.
What? You're like this?
Not like that. That looks fucked up. Oh, I know. Let's get out of that now. That's not what I mean. I meant like.
Also got any tips for the ones that want to become streamers?
I mean wiggle, like your wiggle thing, not kill yourself. Yeah, that. Ah yes, I have an amazing idea. You should kill yourself.
Snowy.
Huh?
What happens
For
if
content,
I
yeah.
take Kevin to the bedroom? What do you do?
I don't know. I'll be worried, I guess. Wait,
He has to wait here.
I can. I'll just move places and be depressed somewhere else.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Sus? Yo?
Yeah.
Yo?
Well,
It's following me. What the fuck?
Did you break the fucking call? Oh my god.
Snowy.
So I was busy. I don't have any I don't have any tips if you started streaming. Literally just start. Calm down. I can hear the first time. Hey,
Look at my monitor. What the fuck?
are you okay? Do you need help?
It's following me. What the
Oh,
fuck?
it's not synchronized.
Anyway. Literally just stream. Do what you like. I don't fucking know what I'm doing. It's been almost 5 years, man. Like that's it. You can see a few tutorials if you want to be a VTuber thingy or like how to set up OBS. I don't have any of those. When will you learn the good tongue?
Sim, é porque o sponge.
Hold on, let me go get it. Good. Open your mouth.
You massive danger.
Open your mouth. Open your mouth. Can't ask for your tongue.
Well,
She doesn't let me. She doesn't let me. Yeah, wing it and have fun. Do something you have fun. Don't think about what people have fun. Because if you think about what others have fun doing, you will not... Like, you can see when someone is not having fun on stream. Like, I didn't plan any of this. I'm just having fun. That's it. Like, there's no secret. Maybe it goes well. Maybe you find one of these. Like, if you find one of these on the floor, take it. Bring it home with you. It's very useful. It's very useful.
yeah.
I'm not free.
It's don't listen to this. It's fine. It'll be free. If you take it for long enough, people forget about their existence and it's free. Yeah, just pick up floor. If you see a Kevin, I'm like, ooh, Kevin. There you go. Bye. Yeah, but there we go. See, like this. The man is very high. Oh, yeah. So I'm in Goods' house. Obviously, she's like right there, somewhere on the back.
No, I'm actually on your.
I may get like my own place eventually, just because there's like space is, let's just say, very tight. We can do like like one house with the PCs and another one without. I don't know, we'll see. It's just an idea. I'm gonna stay here for. I'm gonna start my job in 20 seconds, see if it goes well, and then just improvise from there. I was placed by a clone. True, I'm actually Rylet. Snowy died on a car crash driving to Norway. This is why Kevin's here, because Rylet's always with Kevin, or trying.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I stole. I went to the crash and stole her, like, his PC that was like on the floor. Still works. Yeah, good space is very tight.
I said nothing. Don't worry about it.
This is true. Yeah, I typed that.
Yeah, you should.
I typed that. I'm holding my phone right now. I'm typing on my own chat to talk to chat instead of speaking.
Well, at least I'm not the only one getting replaced.
To be honest, if someone will be replaced, it will be you.
That's so.
No, on Rylet's. No, that's not what I mean.
Damn.
No, come back. Come back.
You see why? This is why Kevin loves me more.
That's not what I meant. I mean that Rylet is going to replace you.
It's okay.
Now listen.
You would not be replaced.
Can you guys not make out in front of me? Like, what the fuck?
Huh?
You can join in.
No, don't listen
Can
to
I?
him, just start.
Yeah, sure.
Good, come here. We're gonna all make out in a circle. Let's go.
Oh, wow, let's go.
I go.
Wow.
What?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Oh.
Is this really gay?
Yeah.
Can you like take off my collar, man?
Oh, do you guys want to buy Kevin? I mean, you can still do it.
Why am I getting...
I don't know. Chat wants to buy you.
Why am I getting sold?
Chat. $50. Yeah, you're in front of the
You'll
action.
need to find a shower.
Wait, no, you're not.
Help me.
Kid's like 60, and like you need the same word. You don't count. $5. 2 sneakers. Oh,
Whoa.
that's a good one. Is makeout stream against COS? I don't think it is. What are you guys doing?
Nothing, just don't...
What do you mean
put the
bedroom?
Steam camera
No,
here.
bed. You're a dog. You can't bang
Yeah,
your owner.
bedroom.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Like, this is, I
bed.
don't make the rules.
No, it's...
You know what you can do?
The
I'm making you flat.
No.
Look,
No.
I'm making you flat. Do you wanna be flat?
No.
Aw. Kinder egg? I don't want Kinder eggs. Uh-huh.
That's the one.
No,
Yeah, wait.
it doesn't. I don't know what you're talking about. It doesn't.
Trust me, my mom has an iron upstairs. I can go and get it.
That's called attempted murder. You don't want to do that.
No, if I just turn it on
Try it.
and I put it in
Try
it.
What do you mean try it? No, no, bad. Come on, we're leaving them. They're bad. Good, they're a bad influence. Come on. It bounces. It bounces. Fuck.
Whoa. Hey, wait,
Help.
no.
What the fuck?
We have a problem.
Bouncy. You have to activate it.
Oh.
We have a problem.
Give me-
Help!
Oh, get it back.
Keep bouncing, man. Bye, I guess.
Where are you going? You're not allowed to ERP in the cloud thingy. Oh. Well. I think they're gone.
Oh. Okay, start music.
Go on. Kira, leave them alone. Kira, leave. You're in the
I
frame.
know you probably didn't do that, but listen, it's funny. So I looked there for 1 second.
You guys like the good... Yeah, cool.
And I saw your hands were just on your tits. That's what I thought.
I was just resting my hand in my
Kira, get out of the frame. I'm trying to record the special movie here.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
That costs extra.
Come on, go on.
He's the bottom one.
Not you. Out. 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 You're ruining the
Oh,
frame.
you're the real one at bedtime, huh? You went bedtime.
It's like good squared. I don't know what's going. Good. You gotta speak. You gotta speak lower.
The only less I can do is if I speak Norwegian, that's the only thing I can talk lowest at my finest.
Not deep lower. It's not a lower means.
I mean, I know a thing that can make.
Are you okay? Do you need help?
You know?
What are you talking about?
I have a thing that can go pretty deep in.
Oh.
I'm giving you a warning, like just for that.
Yes.
Yeah, proof.
Raccoon, help! They're being sus. Where you go? Wait! No, come back! Come back! No. Hold on. Okay.
No! Stop following me! No! Shut it down!
We kind of. I think we run into hell.
Well, that's the perfect place, right? I mean, that's where we're supposed to be.
You're German, right?
But you're still person. Of course I'm German. That's why I'm here. So
What do you mean?
heard-
Oh, okay. You heard about the country thing?
Well, I didn't tweet. No. I heard about like so. I was told you shit talking Germans. I was told I should do this.
Ow! What the fuck? My nuts! No, I'm. Listen. I was shit talking your highways. They suck. I'm sorry. The defender of Germany.
Fuck no, you. What's wrong with the highways?
There's no
What's wrong with
highway.
the highways?
They're all work in progress.
Yeah, they are, but you know, like once they are done, they're great.
Oh,
When there's
yeah.
no construction going on, they're great.
Did that ever happen in the history of Germany?
Oh well, there's like I would say about like 65% of my way to Eurofurence is Ben. The fuck?
Ben.
It's
55%. It's just Ben.
It's Ben.
Fucking Ben. That's laying on the floor.
I didn't expect to actually speak to your promise. What the fuck? Thank you so much.
Shit. I think I fixed a good problem. I had my microphone like the minimum.
Oh my god, thank you. And Foxy, thank you for the favor. And
Oh my god, Ben. You're like, oh my god. Oh my god, Ben.
Also,
Huh?
I get my average speed, like to and back, actually only back from your friends because I drive at night, was like 150, and that worked with the construction sites. On the
Sure, that's
other one,
illegal.
at least.
Allegedly.
No, it's unlimited the whole way through.
With the construction?
Like I can,
I guess at night it changed.
Constructions have to slow. No, constructions have slowed down, and it's only like 20 kilometers out of those 500. So.
Drop me to the bed.
Oh my god! It's a kitty. Oh my god.
Can you guys stop ERPing for 1 second while like stuff is going on?
I gotta catch up with chat.
Raccoon, I can't leave them for like 1 second. They'll ERPing on the cloud bed. Do you want to go to the cloud bed? Come on, follow me.
I cannot. Whoa! I cannot stay super long because.
Come on. It's fine. Follow me. Follow me.
Super long because I have people in a different world that I need to observe. And boobers as well.
Wait, boobs? Wait, huh? I don't know what you're talking about. Apparently there's boobs. Where's the bed? I forgot. Over here.
There's many beds.
No, over here. This one. Oh, we can do you laugh, you lose, gets you laugh, you get
now
slapped.
Now you can do an Elilos who laughs gets slapped edition for the views.
I know, that was Raccoon and there was boobs involved. I don't know what's going on. What are you... What are you doing?
Hey, she got me to the bed. I actually can't breathe.
Here, let me make this
I just wanted to like chat, you know, why is there red on the bed?
I'm making this PG-13 again.
You guys are kinky. What the fuck? My god.
As a red playing club penguin.
My plunger is too good.
But your plunger has ruined everything.
Hell is more wholesome.
Your plunger ruined everything. Okay, you know what? While you guys are in bed, right? While you guys are in bed, okay, I'm just gonna get some water. I'm thirsty.
Oh, no,
the kitchen is right there.
I'm gonna be attacked. I can feel it.
What do you mean?
Mud's gone,
I'm
mud's
watching
gone.
you.
I'm gonna get some water.
Also good. While he's AFK, look what I said you in the end.
Oh, fail! Fucking fail! I see. He's like stretched out.
That's what she said.
It's a dog. Not a furry.
Good. You should totally like whenever he's distracted, like talking to chat, you should just sneak up to him and slap him in the nuts. You'd be funny.
I saw that, but he's gonna kill me if I do that.
But it's funny though.
I know it's funny, but he's gonna kill me. Really?
But funny
I don't know, like he will kill me.
Wait, Kevin, you have rubber penches?
Just be able to run faster. I have to
No, I see you. Go away. Go.
See, he did it anyway.
Everything you hate is a lie.
I will buy you. Stop. No. You pushing me into the fucking scratch. You're pushing me. No.
Oh, nice.
Oh god. I was tracking. Uh-oh.
Oh, that water was so good, man. Woo. Nice. Norwegian water is really good. Why did I miss chat anyway? Hi, Leo. What?
I don't know. Yeah.
I got jump scared by Sai. I'm sorry. I'm so close up there, Chris. I'm so sorry. You pushed me.
It doesn't work. I was gonna see. No, listen. See, I gotta check if it's safe for work. Hold on. Wow! Don't take it off. What the fuck? I was bad timing.
Feel like, to Kevin's Crouch, by the way?
No, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
People don't pay good money for that.
Hey. You did.
I don't know what you're talking about. You mean
It's true,
I'm
Kevin.
sorry.
a blue cheese Oreo? Listen, blue raspberry. Come on.
Blue waffles?
No blue shit.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, this is amazing. It's like a crank. Wait, come here. I can wind you up.
Yeah.
You know, like the music boxes. You like the dun 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 dun
I
dun
used to
dun.
have one. Like, actually, I used to have one. In my old house, I showed you.
Oh.
I wear
Why did I get a music box now?
I used to have one, actually.
Yeah, used to. That's why we need to get another one.
Yeah, I still say I used to have one.
I know. I heard it. My god. Ugh.
Gosh.
I want those ones with the clown. I go meow 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 meow, meow, and it jumps at you. We told you we're in the bed. The ERP bed. Come on.
Oh my god.
Look, Raccoon, turn on the snow here and the clouds and everything, and you can have. You can also have that if you want.
Yeah.
It's a pen.
Oh, you can actually play it? Or is it
Yeah.
random?
You can play. You're just like boom, 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 boom.
Oh, okay, snow is on. I have door, clouds. Do we want clouds?
Raccoon.
Yeah, sure.
If you bang this,
Volume sli- Yeah.
you're pansexual.
Oh.
You like the noise, boom, boom, boom.
I could not resist. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Wait, I gotta see if he makes the noise now. Hold on. I gotta see if he makes the noise.
I could not resist. I'm sorry.
Oh, can I stop the? Is that? Is that a way to stop the world music? Raccoon is our. I need to stop the world music. The world music is too loud.
And it's everywhere as well, and it's overlapping with my music.
PCVR, blah blah blah. No, 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 no.
Actually,
Hmm.
I don't. Actually, I'm gonna mute my music for now and put it back on later. You can listen to the background.
Oh, here. Here.
That was a joke. That was for the memes. And fancy
There you go.
That makes sense. Oh my god.
There you go, Raccoon.
Thank you for clipping it. Thank you for clipping it. By the way, yes, I'm here.
You can turn it off there. Raccoon is too busy farming stream content, chat. And now... Okay, now... Raccoon. So let me test something. Just don't move. So if I do this, right? It doesn't do anything. So grab it.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm gonna put my finger here. No, grab it. Grab it.
Do not.
No, I'm gonna aim. Okay, so let me see. Grab it. Okay, it works. So if I put my finger here, okay, pretend you're banging it now.
Wait, okay.
Just don't worry. Come on, keep going. Huh?
Why is Raccoon fucking the pen or the pillow? Or whatever
It
this is?
might. Okay, listen. My theory work if I put the finger up your ass. It makes the noise. I was reaching.
Okay, wait. Okay, I need to give like 2
Fine.
shoutouts or 3.
Jarvis, clip that.
Oh my gosh. Okay, first
Clip
of
that
all,
shit.
first of all,
I just saw Snow bent
oh, actually,
over.
oh crap, Rama, I should have asked you to do this.
Oh, I know. I'm just gonna bounce for like 2 seconds to like decompress. There we go. Whoa. Whoa. Whew. Okay. I'm stuck. What are you guys doing? I'm hearing dragging. Everyone disappeared again. Oh my god, Mr. Laserman, hi. Welcome. Flashco. I just set up. So today's stream is gonna be VR chat. Friday is probably gonna be VR chat, and Saturday is gonna be Laugh You Lose. Cause I'm still very tired. I don't want to think too much.
It's Hama. It is Hama. Yeah. Snowy. Did you? Snowy. Did you see my? When you saw my headset, right?
There you go. Yeah, I saw your like bomb. The fucking. You gonna like?
I got to work.
Are you ever gonna like take it to like airport security or something, like to a con? I'm gonna get stopped.
Wait, what? Are we talking about the same thing? I'm confused now.
Your headset? That looks like a little like. Actually, no. Yours is fine.
I sent the pictures. I was confused for a second. Oh my god. Also, Christmas, feel free to, like, if you're on the Discord, feel free to push the clips on the Discord clips channel as well, so it makes it easier for me to fill them out later on.
I'm just using Raccoon to do my... There we go. Just do what he says.
Yes. So for Snowy's weird, it's like, if Snowy does something weird, basically the whole stream, just put that on the Discord as well. On Snowy's Discord, not on my Discord.
It'll be so funny. I'm gonna go to my Discord. They just post like the stream link, like the VOD. There you go. Everything's fucking weird.
Yeah, that's the highlight of the day. The whole
If
stream.
you didn't know, Chad, Raccoon has what's the name? Beyond for something?
Yeah, it's a Big Screen Beyond. Yep.
Big Screen Beyond. Is it the 2 or the first one?
The first one. The 2 that ships in like 2-3 months or something.
Did you get the free one or are you gonna have to pay? Because I know if you bought it recently, they replaced it with the 2.
Wait, they don't wait, really? Did they replace it? No, they only just didn't
They
ship out the old orders.
No, they upgraded those orders to the new one. I don't think they replaced.
Well,
yes.
No, there is
Yes.
a deal. There is a deal where you get the Big Screen Beyond 2 at a discounted rate, but the discounted rate actually just means that you don't get the face gasket and don't get the cable and don't get the
you can
strap and
reuse.
everything, so it's the bare-bone headset. Yeah, so it's not a discount. So
So they just don't give you shit, okay?
Yes, sadly they should.
I know if people order the first one, they get the second one now before it arrives.
For the past 2 months.
I was thinking, I was thinking of upgrading because my top strap just broke literally today on stream. Like I don't have any top support on the index now, which is great. We're gonna zip tie this or something. Yeah.
I used
Staples.
I used duct tape on mine because mine broke as well.
Look, I just got like the Velcro came off, like it's just dangling now.
Oh, what the fuck, Ben? Thank you for the pipe drop, but holy shit.
Hey Ben, thank you for the pipe.
Oh my Patsy! Hi Patsy, nice to see you!
No, what the fuck? No, you guys come over here right now. No. You should. Never mind.
Whoa. Okay, there we go. Should Patsy as well. Patsy's a sweet bean. Also, oh my. I didn't do the most.
I'm not used to
thing.
this.
Who's farting?
Oh.
Wait, who's farting?
No, they banged me. That wasn't farting. I'm sorry, Ben. I don't. Fuck. Whew. Wait, do that again. Raccoon, do that again.
Wait, there's. Oh my god! Sorry, I got scared by the birds.
Don't worry about it.
Why is your burping?
No.
What are you doing? Nothing. Don't worry.
So I
about
farted and he was sniffing it. Don't worry about it. It's very complicated.
Also, definitely.
I met.
If you want to see.
Oh, sorry. I don't want to cover your camera. Where's your camera? I met this dude when he was mute, right? Didn't speak a single fucking word for like years.
Just
And
like
now look at him. Look, it evolved. It's like one of those cats, like you.
Active and gay.
He sounds like a hungry cat when you bring out the food, like. Now he can't stop yapping. It's nice though. It's nice.
If you, did I put the correct link? I didn't. Did I?
You suck at links. Wait, who's me?
Shit, that's not you. Oops, that's not you. That's not you. That's not you. Sorry, why are you not in my chat? I can't type your name apparently.
Oh, so I'm like kind of busy, like streaming, you know. So it's kind.
Okay, no. I forgot. Oh, I forgot the E. Sorry, rookie mistake. Okay, there we go. No, yeah, if you definitely check out this bean as well. Like he's right here. There's a donut on his face.
No, I'm donuts.
So there. The thing is in the chat. So if you want to scoot over and say hi, definitely.
Damn, fucking don't size shame me.
We're getting Kid Fox over to
My tail has a good personality, okay?
Soon. Hope oh my god, Crimson, that's amazing! Love Crimson.
You guys want a donut?
She just ate a crayon.
Yeah.
What?
What? No.
Whoa, Kira! What the fuck? Wait, where's the crayon? Give me that. Oh, 1 second. Raccoon, can you hold this?
Oh my god, I still... should I? Wait, does it attach
No,
to
not in
my-
your face, not on your face.
No,
I just hold it sideways. The face is not good. This face is not good. Can you hold it, like, on the side?
Let's do it.
Wait, like this?
Wow, dude.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
You invented a new type of lewd.
What the fuck? Excuse me.
It's the only one.
New fetish. It's you know, people who eat crayons, but now it's like sexy.
I could give the tags for that.
There's no tags. Shut up. Oh my god.
Just get the double
What the fuck is everyone talking about in this world? I'm gonna get my plushie. And be here.
You can say much. You're moaning and groaning right next to Crickon when everyone was out.
No, I'm not. Why? No, this is more. No, stay away from me.
Taking your picture, I'm sorry. I need
Oh my god, this is so fuzzy. Here, no, have it this one. This one's better.
Oh, it's fluffy.
Super mega fuzzy.
No. Stay away from me and my fox, okay? I have plushies, this is wholesome. Oh, I'm gonna throw them at you. There you go. You are a sus magnet. I don't know why. You know what? I'm getting your plunger. I'm getting your plunger. I'm getting the plunger. It's fine.
Quick, Goots, lock the door behind him so he can come back and take over the stream.
He's stealing the plunger, you have to protect it. Protect the plunger.
It's fine.
Yeah, that must be dirty. Like, not dirty, but like dirty.
I grabbed the plunger. Kevin, come here.
I dare you to put that on your
Look,
face.
it's like this. It's a plunger.
It's a big plunger.
Why is it small?
This is the first stream while the streamer streams holding a plunger.
My plunger is actually pretty big.
You want a plunger?
Oh.
That's what she said.
There you go.
It's actually pretty big.
He's just giving the
Wait,
Plunger.
what is that? I
Plunger.
don't see anything.
Raccoon.
Yeah, I have one. Oh, wait. Oh, wait.
It's like
It's
a
massive.
real plunger.
Oh.
It's massive.
Look. I'm balancing it. Whoop.
Why do you need to plunger in VR? Do I want to know?
Open your
touch
mouth.
You
it
don't
to
wanna
the wall
know.
Or the
Open your
door.
mouth,
Or
Raccoon.
something.
Open your mouth.
I couldn't touch it to the floor.
Oh no, that's not better.
Why?
What's going on?
Blah. There you go. I unboarded whoever was there.
I knew she liked my plunger. You see?
I'm gonna put this back. This is weird.
Look how he bends over. Damn.
I know my own point attention. If that's what I mean, that's really gay.
What is he doing?
Bend over.
Caressing my own plunger is gay.
He's getting loot.
Oh no, oh no, he's taking up the plunger now. Okay, but also I totally got hop off to the other world again because there were some beans I wanted to.
I'm gonna play Repo today. Last time I couldn't jump because I was thunderstorm.
Not today, probably on Thursday, because today is like comfy games time. I mean, mostly comfy at least. And Thursday is like the.
Why did I just hear? Why did I just hear? I'm gonna see if I get a bigger plunger.
I'm gonna look at the Schedule 1 game because I want to go into it blind. I haven't even started it.
Oh, this sucks. My top strap just came off
It's
completely.
so funny every time you go Goots lift up her headset
Yeah,
to
look.
see if you're going sus mode. Smiley face emoji.
Yeah, like the top one. Like over your head.
Oh.
Yeah.
Chad said it's funny seeing you lifting up your headset just to check on me. Oh.
Check on you.
You understand? Hi, yeah, I'm Rylat. I quit my job to be here. 24/7. Yeah, I quit my job because I missed Kevin. So now I'm like Snowy full time. No, we died. I'm sorry, kids.
Well, if I don't know, you're gonna have Kevin.
What?
Yeah.
She's already acting like a pet to
if
Kevin.
you're
now.
Do you have a plan B already? Like, what the
Slow
fuck?
transition.
No, if you have Ralph, right? And you quit being
What? What do you
Snowy,
mean? No.
That means Snowy doesn't exist
That logic makes no
anymore.
fucking sense.
That means
What do
Snowy
you
doesn't
mean?
exist anymore.
Oh my god.
Nah, you really do think.
You're the only person who thinks of like this. Makes no sense.
No,
I mean, that's basic
it's
economics.
good. It's true. If you're Ralph, that means no one is being Snowy, meaning he doesn't exist. Meaning that means I'm single.
Wow. I can leave. Okay, chat. Bye. I have to leave. I have to find a new house. I'm being thrown out.
That argument is valid.
I am being thrown out. The Goods just broke up with me. Yeah.
No, it was an ownership transfer. You're
You know what?
now
Come here.
Owned by Rylov.
Come here. Just stay over here. Just stay over here. Don't do anything. Okay?
No. Wait.
You should totally slap him in the balls. You should totally slap him in the balls when he's distracted. Because he will abuse you anyway. See? Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Alright, someone run my doorbell. I had to go like check it really quickly. What did I miss?
Yeah, you could hear the slapping sounds from your microphone.
No, I wasn't. I was on the doorbell.
Uh-huh.
Poor delivery driver being slapped in the ass.
You need to apologize because you picked up my wrong foot, the one that's injured.
I keep forgetting what foot is injured.
You should give them a foot massage.
John, you can see which foot is injured. I'll go like, oh,
Why not
there
holding
we go.
Goots in your arms? Like completely off the floor in your
My foot is
arms.
fucking blue. It's at top and the bottom.
You know, I can do that if she. Okay, get up.
What are you doing?
Chad wants me to pick you up. Come on, come here. You'll be fine. You can move.
I'm gonna fall.
No, you're not. Come on. Okay, so face. We gotta sync. So put yourself like on my. Just put yourself on your shoulders like this. Yeah, there you go. Wait, no. Wait. Yeah, over here.
You're too small.
No, I'm not small. Just big.
No, this is normal
Okay,
size.
shoulders.
You're grabbing my hair.
Stop complaining. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Head. Whoa.
Anytime now.
Things are happening though.
Well, my Kraken is glitching.
I just wish I had popcorn right now.
Well.
Okay. Yes, over here. Over here.
That chat look, it's
Come on. Fall backwards. There we go.
Wait, since when are they in the same?
Oh, let go. Oh my god. My cable.
the status like moving for like a week.
You just love it. Wrong foot.
I didn't know that.
I can just sit on you now. Let's go! It's a horsey. Come on, come on. Come on, come on.
Am I watching right now?
Butt scooting away. I'm fucking butt scooting away. Chloe's check him up on me. Yeah, I know, right?
This is... We're gonna break our cables in like a month.
I said in the Discord time available for everyone.
I'm okay for that. I'm okay.
Huge. Oh my god, that's awesome. Let's go. I didn't know.
Did you think he was Rylat?
I didn't know. Wait, what? No, I didn't know you were living together.
Yeah, for like a day now.
Rylaf is the one that moved in with Goods. This is actually Rylaf right here. This here is actually Rylaf.
Very convincing. Like more convincing than last.
Whoa.
Ricky's available. Oh,
I know, we need a pulley system. I'm being pulled. Hold on.
wait,
What are you doing?
Using... How can you exist in the same place where it's
Huh?
so it doesn't interfere in any way?
No, you know, the base stations work. The base. So this is so hard.
Okay, time to build up. Time to set up a second.
I don't know if you know, but
I do have the old index now.
the base stations are passive. They don't do
Yeah, I
anything.
know.
So you can just lay them over and they work.
They like the Wii light that you put below the
Basically,
TV in the
yeah.
past. Yeah, just a little bit more complex. Oh,
So
that's
you can
cool.
just
Okay,
you can
so
just turn on two VR
Joey
to
does
connect
code
to
and get
everything.
his VR set up.
Okay, so
Smile.
if I want to hang out with a friend, I can build up my old PC again.
And the headset, yeah.
Then use my old index.
Oh my
and
god,
then,
my
then
brain.
We can hang out in VR.
Yeah.
Then we can hang out in VR in the
I guess
same
we're using
room.
like index and quest.
Hold on, I gotta help good stuff. Hold on, you're just in the way. Hold on. Hold on. Ugh.
Ah!
There we go.
Oh, that
What a lot
looks
of
weird.
orders.
It's like
It's fine.
remote moving. New snowy model. I don't think it's
This
super
one?
new, but it's like
Huh?
slightly new.
Yeah, it's newish. It's the VWE. I am being attacked by a dog. The dog is humping my leg. Hold on. Fuck off.
This is a message to Goots. Pull on his dick while he's still on the floor.
Ow. The VWE is good. Look. Stop pumping me. I'm trying to flex. Oh my god, stop.
He likes you.
I hate dogs, man. Stop. I'll fight you.
That means he likes you.
I don't see him. Wait, stop. I'm fighting. I look like I have schizo. He's pulling my arm. Ow. Where are we going? Ow.
We just.
Okay, stop. Gotta stop. Why? God damn it.
What kind of dog is that? Like, how big is the dog?
He's like he's very big. He looks like a bear. Stop. Oh my god. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can show you the height. Come here. Come here.
Snowy getting eaten live on stream.
Jump.
I see.
War?
Jump. Off.
Let's go. Deserve.
Oh, that's not what I meant. Oh my god. Stop.
Ben, does the dog get 50 subs as well now?
Oh no. Stop.
Should fall on his. Oh my god, Ben, don't say that. Oh my god, just
Stop.
would be very funny.
You know what? I'm gonna do this, and if it hits you, I'm aware.
Cody's really protected, so whenever like
It's Brody, that's right. Yeah, perfect. I mean, no, gosh, I don't know. Like, where did
He's
the dog
trying to.
is? Was it
He jumped and like bonked my dick.
Yelling at me one time, and my cat just got in the middle.
Stop. So he likes protecting Goods a lot. So now he's stop.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Thank you so much.
Goods, your dog is harassing me. I'm gonna call the police. Huh? That was for fun.
I asked that last time and you said yes, right? But it's Pascal.
We're not. I just look like I have schizophrenia, man. Yeah, moving gave me schizo, chat. I'm sorry. Gotta stop humping my fuck. There you go. I'm biting you. I'll bite you back.
Wait, Snowy, didn't you have
Huh?
face tracking as well? I thought you were using the
I have the Quest Pro.
or
It's still
something.
there. I haven't set it up yet. Not there.
Okay, that makes sense.
What is happening? Stop! Stop! I hate this.
Still missing a Reki tail? Oh my god, no, you...
Good.
Not the knife.
I'm gonna call Child Protective Services on your dog. He's harassing me. Why I bite the dog? Because he beat me back, so I bite back, okay? He's licking my hand now. He's like right here. He's licking my hand. Okay, I think I got peace. Gotta stop! My god!
So, your girlfriend is being walked by the dog.
So, you guys do me a favor while we are playing. Just take care of chat. I need to, like, you know... The dog is attacking me! And you don't do anything about it, so I gotta go fucking handle this. Mmm, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We're fine. We're fine.
It's your fault. Amish, chilling. Oh no, he's biting. No, it's fine. He's sleeping. Okay, it's your fault because you're activating him. He's actually calmed down. What the fuck? Whenever put a rest, that's when he annoys him, and then he regrets it right after because it's like, oh, dude, he wants stop annoying me. Can you do something? Oh my god! Like, I did him. You bugged him. And you can't blame it on me. I'm watching you. Petting. Fighting. You guys are play fighting. Yeah, so the thing is, Snow is the only one he acts like this. I'm not even kidding. He's the only one. The thing is, whenever he might get like jealous, so like he's protective. So like we did a test here, like we like testing like how different personalities he has. So when he went to pet Dakota, he attacked him. When I went there, he gave me kisses, and when I was like pet him, he tried again. He gave like Chloe and me kisses.
I guess the dog just kind of sees you as mom, so it doesn't attack you.
He's really spoiled. They'll act both acting like kids. Him and Coda. They're being kids right now. They're actually being kids.
The struggles of being a mom.
This is like having two kids, man. What do I do?
Get him an order. Tell him to, like, I don't know, clean the room or something. Or do the dishes.
Hey Snow, you should do the dishes. You both acting like kids. You should do the dishes. He's like so happy. Oh my gosh, you guys are fast, man. What's upside down?
No,
That's here, huh?
Okay, I have to get
No,
my
like
hands
my
up.
card is literally right there. What? No, that's sus.
Okay, what?
I know, it's just sad that I forgot to mute. I forgot to mute. I'm hearing double of you. That means this is your fault. You said you keep beating me up. You harassed me. Just going to annoy you. What the fuck?
Okay, it's like,
If you guys can hear that in the background, that's him.
like if you tickle someone,
I
the dog
love that I
will
just see like moving around with this microphone and tell him go ow on you.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Oh my god, what are you doing?
I'm just sitting here,
because I'm fighting a dog now.
You're actually fighting.
I don't see.
That's good. Are you tearing him out?
I think he's telling me out.
You're tearing me out? What the fuck? He's not back. He's fighting Coda.
You can just see it.
Can I go back? Can I go back?
It's able to do it
The
for
people walking up.
Yeah.
Down.
I wish I had my head in disappointment. They're both acting like kids, man. No idea what they
And
are.
you have to break this
Slap
down.
me.
Slap me.
Slap me. I'll fucking slap you back. Coda is extremely playful right now. He's doing the
Ben,
playful
the penguin
pose.
asked me, how are the tariffs doing for you? The tariffs, let me tell you, they were huge. So great for our economy. We got tough on China and they didn't like it, folks. It was tremendous. We brought back jobs, manufacturing was booming, it was truly fantastic. Believe me. People said it couldn't be done, but we made it happen. A lot of people are still talking about it, and they will for a long time. Absolutely amazing folks.
Coda is like protective, like jealous in a way. So whenever Snowy messes with me, like try to give me a hug or like kiss me or anything, he will come in and attack Snowy. So since he picked me up, Coda woke up and chose violence.
Violence.
Yes, exactly.
You just have to like demons like announced in sport. You just have to like do that to the fight.
No. Bad.
Like, oh my god.
Bad. Stop.
Huda.
He's still alive.
Yeah. We tied.
I like that.
We tied.
I'm pretty sure he
Like
lost.
that.
Yeah, he lost.
Huda.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he lost.
No, I didn't. What do you mean? I'll fight
Yes,
you
I
next
gave
because you're just so dog, and I will see who wins.
I will.
I also got I drank a little bit of water.
Snowy.
Huh?
Can you tell what the fuck is one of the fucking couch pillows upside down?
I don't know. Blame your dog.
I didn't move it.
Hey, no, bad. Why are you doing this? Raccoon.
Yeah?
Sorry, I've been fighting a dog.
Yeah, did you win? Did you
I
win?
think so. I'm not being harassed anymore.
Stalemate.
Don't pick me up and you should be
Hmm.
fine.
Well, yeah, I just wanted to say I'm gonna hop world again, and
Yeah, have fun.
he's spitting at me.
I was for I bit the dog. Don't worry about it.
Oh,
Big John.
Go enjoy. It was nice to see you.
yeah, it
Oh,
was nice kicking your nuts as well. I hope you have a good time. Enjoy the rest of your
it's
stream.
okay. You
Don't
readjusted
cause too much
my
chaos.
nuts.
Don't,
Wait.
You didn't
don't
just
be
kick
too
them.
questionable. Those are some good-looking beans as well. Oh my god.
Okay, listen. Just go.
So loading.
That's for later.
Whoa.
Later beans. Oh.
Okay, see you later. Bye bye.
Boy.
Goodbye, raccoon stream.
I love you. Love juice. What up? Since when are you here? Join right now.
Oh, look.
By the way, chat, sorry about the noise. I know we have like double voices. We have to either figure this out or get used to it. We'll see. We'll find a solution.
I'm gonna kill you.
I don't think it's that bad.
With the mod.
Because of the
Yeah, I don't think it's that bad. You can hear like faintly.
Oh my god.
Whew.
because I have like the same thing.
Like remind me of those cats.
Defending me.
You mean that love just that dead meme where there's a cat looking at a corner and goes like, "What are you doing?" Wow, and guy is like, "It's a fucking corner." Wow.
Well, I just wanna used to have it. And,
Get good to muzzle. Honestly, be a good idea.
Like I don't know.
Good. We gotta get you like a muzzle so you shut up during streams now. It's chat's suggestion. Like make it sad. We'll make it like a remote controlled one. I click it and he opens. then I like click again and it closes.
Yeah.
like a mute button.
The thing.
Like it's like a mute button, but I control it, you know. I think there's not that much echo, right? That's very fine. The dog, the dog is holding my leg, but he's like tired, so he's just laying down and holding my leg. Now he's nibbling my foot. Stop. Ow.
One thing we need to do, we need to learn to mute every moment and the sentence.
Oh yeah, I'll be fine. Whoa. Whoa. Oh. Who said fighting dogs was like... Fighting dogs is tiring. I'm like sweating. We're gonna... Chat, we're gonna open a new business, okay? We're gonna fight dogs, like cage fight dogs on stream. But like it's me versus the dog, not like fighting two dogs. No, it's illegal if you fight... No, listen. It's illegal, right? If you make the dogs fight.
It's when it's about money.
Yeah, just don't make any money. It's... Oh yeah, we have a non-profit organization dedicated to fighting dogs. All proceeds go to charity. No, listen. Okay? Here's my plan. It's not illegal. Because I am the one fighting the dog. It's not dog fighting. You release the dog?
I think that's called animal cruelty.
No, what if the dog is really into it? They're happy. Listen, as long as the dog is wagging, as long as the dog is wagging his tail, you can fight it. It's my new law. He's happy, okay? Oh.
You're just speaking privileges.
Okay. You just sneeze. You made me sneeze. Bye, Grim. I want to sit here for a bit on the pile because I'm tired.
I wonder why. After losing.
Let you flex for us. Can you do it again? There you go. Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh.
BTW, Doggos isn't let you flex for us. Can
sure
you do it
how,
again?
I'm pretty sure that's not how pecs like. Hey, is that how like chests work?
You're flexing bulge too.
I'm flexing my rib. What? No, I'm not. What the fuck?
Oh, it's belly.
Shoot, Kira. Oh, yeah, wow. What exercise do we do to have like a flexible bulge? Sure, you can just like. Oh,
oh my god.
Oh.
You need a second guy's assistance to get the belly bulge by training.
Bad. Your arms are scuff and flexing. Are they? I don't know. I don't use the flexing. I don't like the flexing on his avatar. I like the just the normal like body. That's good for me. Good. Are you okay? Are you alive?
I think that's low.
No, it's gonna keep going. Sorry. I don't know who you are. You're not here IRL. It doesn't. VR is not IRL. I'm sorry. It doesn't count.
It's because I'm an overall. You can hear me, Ariel. What the fuck? Make my tongue stick out.
Yeah.
Wow.
God.
Wow. She comes here and just like just licking feet. Like what the fuck?
Well, she subconsciously licks feet.
What?
You know what's the best part about this avatar? You can go like, oh, fuck, it didn't work. Oh, there you go. Oh. Okay, that's
Whoa,
not.
That's a long tongue.
Oh my god.
Wait.
Hey, it's, oh my god. I want to poke this avatar with a needle and see what happens.
Also, you need to clarify. You stole my homeworld. This one.
Oh yeah, this is Guts's world.
You stole it.
And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna steal this. It's gonna be fun for stream.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
No.
She's been saying like, can I show you my homeworld like forever and like since I've arrived. I'm like, I'm right here. Like, I'm dealing with like taxes and like, you know, import, customs. Like, you can show my VR homeworld. He has like a sensory room. And yeah, I'm like, oh my god, sure. It's cute. I like the view for the shape. The mouth is really cute and the body too. Like, I'm not really a muscle. Yeah, the face tracking is good. The face shape is good.
It could have better ears.
I think the only time I have time to work on avatars when you at fucking work. Physically, that's probably the only time I will have able to do avatars now.
Yeah. Let's hope he keeps the job to get more work.
What?
Take your thing back.
My thing? What the fuck? I have a name.
Oh.
I said that I think the only time I'll be able to make my Weebly is when you're at fucking work. Because you can't be like, oh, I want this and this and that.
I'll probably do that the same thing. I want this, I want that. What do you have to do into your car? So in Europe, you can drive the cars anywhere, it doesn't matter, but you just need to import it eventually. You have like, each country has a limit. Over here it's 30 days, so you have 30 days. And then you just have to not drive it until you do it. But if you go as a tourist, if you're an European and you go to another European country, you have 3 months. And you can just drive.
Yeah.
It's nice of being like free. And it's not that complex. My car is electric, so it doesn't pay any fees. Like any like import fees are like waived. So I just walk up to the border. I just fill up the things. They give me like the release paper basically that I have to go to the DMV to get the plates. And it's just like fuck off. I don't need to pay anything. I'm sorry, am I boring you?
Yeah.
Me and Kevin yawned at the same time.
That's probably why then.
Talking about taxes for Germans is very tiring. Boring.
Don't you guys are supposed to love taxes? Like very strict, you know?
I don't do that.
Government, I don't know.
Now we got 21%.
Do you not do taxes?
Just everything.
No.
It's automatic.
Kevin, you should look into that. I think you're tax evading.
What? If I'm working at a company, taxes are already...
If you're single and you don't sell anything, then yeah.
Didn't you have to like check it and submit it or something like us? Like it's also automatic, but you have to like.
If you're just working at a company and are not like earning over a certain amount of money, you don't have to do it yourself. It's literally just getting taken.
I think they're committing tax fraud, chat.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to say that.
Have you ever a moment of autopiloting while driving? Bro, all the time.
To pay taxes.
All the time when you drive, especially on this big trip. There was just like times like I had like my GPS and I was like, oh, it's just 1 hour left, and like an hour is a fucking long time to drive. But since I was used to driving like 8 hours a day, I was like, oh, it's just an hour. I just zoned out, just going forward, and then there we go, I arrived. It happens more on areas I know, like back in Portugal. Over here, I don't know much yet, so it's like, you know, there's no autopilot here yet. If you yawn again, I'm gonna stick my feet up your wall. You're not supposed to. Oh my god. Stop! It's supposed to be. I'm yawning. Fuck! What is this again? Blocked.
Wow.
Blocked.
Wow.
Blocked.
How dare you?
What could it
I managed to cut my finger by opening an oven. Oh my god,
So-
what is going on in here?
I came here today. I was like, I'm gonna have like a chill day with chat. We're gonna talk. We're gonna say what's up.
From the circle.
Chat's gonna tell me what they did last week. It's gonna be fun. But now everyone's just sucking feet. I don't know. Chat, what did you do while I was gone? There you go. I fixed it. I changed See how I changed subjects? Like nice. Very smooth.
Step on him.
Very smooth, very demure. Could they bring this slushy machine? Oh, love juice. You know, I found it so funny. How many like months out of whatever? How much time did you wait for your slushy machine to be on sale? Yeah. I know. Love just waited like a long time for it to be in stock.
Oh, no. That's gonna be me.
gonna tell him.
I just put in on another video. Oh yeah, how long did it take? Oh hi Plains, welcome back man. I know you've been, and then like quick or so later sending me an email. Okay, so I was walking into the store to buy goods to share, and there was like a shelf full of Ninja Slushy machines, and I'm like, oh, this is the thing that Lev just bought. It was like just on the floor. I didn't buy it.
Stop riding up the dog.
No, I did not buy it.
Fight.
I need to buy a coffee machine. I want to buy the coffee bean machine again. First.
Washing machine. Come on.
Best meetup experience ever. I had the most fun on the last meetup on last Sunday. Was I on that one? I don't
I'll
think
say
wait.
this, I had the most fun during the last meetup last Sunday. The best meetup experience ever.
Was I on that meetup? I don't think so. I joined the meetup. I joined before the trip. I joined the meetup on my phone.
And on E621 just add the.
Excuse me?
Tag.
Go away. Go away. Go away.
Sure. I got an idea for you.
For me.
So I got an idea. Do like a special string wherever like 2 subs, you drink a slushy from the slushy machine.
You're just gonna make it this like you're just gonna make a list of ingredients. And let the chat decide the slushy.
Yes.
We would end up bringing a piece slushy or something.
You drink the whole thing. The chat made.
I'd rather like not die. That's kind of cool.
Nah, living is cringe.
Slushies suck. Why would you like them? Whoa. It's just like ice. Like isn't it like flavored ice-ish drink? Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's ice shaving, I think. No?
Isn't it the same? Yeah, it's the same. Meh.
Oh, you never had one?
Oh, I thought it was different.
Who meowed? Meh. Meh.
I don't think so. I ever had like a slushy before.
I probably did, but it's then maybe not. It's just ice, right? And like things. I don't know.
I guess it's ice, yeah.
Yeah, basically just.
I remember having a slushy in Germany.
I'm getting confused.
Yeah, just.
I remember
Even
I remember
if you
going.
try something.
No.
You need to try like a blueberry slushy. It'll make your tongue blue.
Just don't do it in Germany because they use paper straws there, and those like melt while you drink the slushy.
We use pepper straws everywhere in Europe. It fucking sucks. Oh, this is so fucking.
Hear me out. Basically, slushies are as unnecessary as water ice.
I can hear it through your string, and it's at 1%. What the
Water ice is good. Come on, ice is nice. We have Shaoran is like going on a quest against the slushies. I think Shao just hates ice in general.
I don't think he's cool enough to appreciate ice.
Huh?
War? Yo,
I think
it's Snowy, can you believe it? Kevin has been my friend for a while now, and she never ate me. I'm so sad.
Kevin, you didn't eat back.
Wait, what?
You didn't eat back.
I thought, well, you're being friends for a while now and never forwarded me. I'm so sad.
Oh my god. No, I said.
Yeah, sure. You know how some countries, some countries do the double kissing thingy.
You're not worthy.
We here just do the war.
Eat cripples. I see how it is.
Yeah.
I was referring
Casual
to the
war,
meetup
yeah.
last week.
What happened in that meetup? I have no idea.
She doesn't like eating her veggies.
I know I joined the meetup while people were watching a movie because I was testing my VR. I don't think I joined the last. No, I didn't join the last weekend. No. But did I? I'm also stupid, so I don't know.
What are you gonna do with that?
As a Warframe player, crayons are my favorite food.
What?
Water ice. Wait, you pay for iced water? Water should be free, even if it's in ice form. What are you guys doing?
Abusing goods.
Yeah.
I guess abusing is just like a general team now.
Yes. It's a bonding activity to bully goods.
You're stuck now.
Oh my god! Oh my! Oh!
What?
Look at that! Oh my!
What is that?
It's when I'm backed
That
up
looks like
and it
piss.
squiggles.
Oh my god, it's chicken joking.
She is making it.
You don't like chesting. Also, your leg is broken.
You question my leg. Wait. My leg turned off. What the fuck?
That happens to me a
I
lot.
actually think it's a
Fucking
tracker.
slender.
Nah, my leg just likes to. I have a energy saving protocol in my legs. They just like turn off. There you go. They're back. Yeah, there.
I'm making a squiggly line.
You're just piecing all over like the world.
Oh, you're the one that was fucking pissing.
Whoa, what the fuck?
No.
It was
We
echo.
moved on from piss to plungers.
Okay, plungers. I like how I'm saying like no plungers now. No more. No more piss.
That's
No.
too far. Let's go. Let's say a piss. No more pleasure. Like that.
We draw the line at plungers.
Piss off. I love
No,
it.
it's this.
Peace out, drinks it.
Plungers. We moved to
What?
Plungers. It's no.
So,
Bad. No.
Kira, I didn't know you're into golden showers.
I have lost control of live chat. Please help me. Take me with you. I want to be part of chat. Can I go in? I want to go in chat. I'm just gonna go like. "Wah."
Just go pretzel mode.
I just want to go there. Yeah. Oh, I'm watching the. Whoa! Look at that.
Hold it.
What is real, man? Virus, help me.
Delay your chat control screen.
Whoa! What the fuck?
Yo, the.
Help. I'm stuck in a wall.
Oh.
Whoa. Hi.
What the segment?
Start typing. Okay, hold on. I gotta be a viewer.
Top average snowy day.
It's upside down, but it's kind of
There you go. I'm a viewer now. Hi Minion, hi! Thank you so much. Oh yeah, it was my birthday on the 5th, by the way, chat. I did a tweet if you didn't see. I'm not gonna do anything to celebrate. That's it. Too many birthdays, man. Too many birthdays. I don't want to celebrate anymore.
Why are you licking my plunger?
Bro, I look like a desktop VTuber reacting to a video. Oh my god, chat, this is crazy. And then like the tracking has scuffed and they're like I'm like turn. Oh.
Wait, good. You said you're like learning to do pole dance, right? This is kind of like a pole dance.
We already did that, Reg. There you go.
Trust me.
What the?
Wait, what is happening?
Don't need to do the whole like going all the way up to the
Hey, you
ceiling.
said you wanted to make a cake for you and me. Right pointing finger emoji.
We'll do a
left
cake
pointing
eventually.
finger emoji. Sad face emoji.
We'll do a cake eventually. It's just not yet. I'm like very, I don't know how to explain. Homesick / like tired, I guess. Plus we have 2 cakes, man. We have 2 cakes literally ready. How many people actually have the sub badge? You mean the rainbow one? 3.5 years. Chat, if you have the rainbow cookie badge sub, say hi. I think we have a few. I don't know if I can count though. Let me see. 3.4. Can I click it? No. I'm not even close. You're halfway. Not halfway. You're there. Almost there. I can sub right now. Yeah, Reg, you have it, right? Not sure. You have a flower. If you have a flower, it means you're a young one. Reg doesn't have it. Oh, okay, let me explain the sub badges. I don't know. Probably a lot of people don't know yet. So.
Shut up, Snowy. Goddammit.
What? Listen, Peg. There's peace coming from your mouth, so I'm not gonna hear your opinion. But basically, my sub badge are Oreos, and I had bronze, silver, gold, and then like platinum, and then like rainbow. And before that is the ingredients. So you have like vanilla, you have like eggs, you have, you know, just you're building the, or I don't know. It was a nice idea I had. I think it's a little bit cringy, but it looks cool. I like it. And it just builds up to rainbow. And after rainbow, we're gonna need to get like some more. If we start getting older people here. I don't know, like a diamond. We do a diamond.
Older people.
Imagine being old.
So old subs, not like older people. Oh my god. 80? Yeah, to all my 80-year-olds in chat.
For 4 years. Where are my bonus?
Your boners? I pay you. What do you mean?
Bonus. Why do you say boners? What is wrong with you?
You're saying my boners, man. I don't know what your boner is. What the fuck?
My bonus, not boners. Oh my god.
You just keep saying boner over and over again. I know.
Bonus. Bonus.
Oh, you're a bonus.
Did you wash your ass today?
I don't know where. I don't know where a bonus is yet.
Decided to go vanilla.
To Portugal, what US?
I answered. Thank you for the vanilla. You don't need to do anything to Portugal, man. Portugal is gonna kill it itself. Like just let it exist. I saw an old house like with like 4 rooms, like completely. I sent to Irons. It was selling for 3 million, and I'm like, I hate this country. I hate this country.
It's a small country with a large population. That's why.
We have double the people as Norway. Like it makes no. My country makes no fucking sense. Like it just makes no sense.
Actually, it's the same thing with some places in Brazil. Like buying an apartment, a tiny apartment in Rio is like hella fucking expensive.
Yeah, imagine that, but like in the whole country.
But yeah, but that's because Portugal is the size of Rio with like about the same population.
No, it's because they fucked up, and now you gotta deal with the consequences. Well, they have to deal with the consequences because I just fucked up.
To be fair, Norway is not a bad idea. Like, not a bad place to go.
I mean, it's probably one of the best.
Dicke, wenn du stinkst.
You know what? Okay, you know the thing about Norway? It's like so they drink like 10% of all the Pepsi Max in the world. They are second place in the consumption of tacos.
Germany is smaller than France. We still have 30 million more than France.
They're second place in pizza and tacos, right behind the US. Okay, second place.
The population is
5 million people.
Like second place in like everything.
5 million people, and they beat everyone but the US. What the fuck is going on here?
Have you seen how big people in Norway are? Those Vikings are huge. They eat twice as much.
They're just like chugging tacos and Pepsi like non-stop. Like, how do you beat the US almost in like how much tacos do you need to like what the fuck? There's 5 million. There's 5 million people here. Yeah, there's no fat people. What the fuck is going on? Where's all?
What kind of sorcery is that?
I think they're probably buying all the tacos and just storing them. Like taco stores.
We have the area of South Carolina, while having the population of New Mexico.
They're buying from Mexico directly at like a low price and then reselling to the US.
Yeah, and they eat and they fucking eat the second most tacos and pizzas in the whole world. What the fuck? Are like what? What do you mean? I can hear you. Like, okay, you know that.
No. Actually, yeah, smell Ariel. I smell good. Come on, sniff me, Ariel. Come on.
No, okay, hold on. I'm gonna go sniff good chat. In 1 second.
And he's dead.
Oh no, I put smelled. Oh no.
Oh my god, I could hear that. I could hear that.
Smells like sweat and like nice.
Sweat and nice. Damn.
I don't know how to explain.
There's no reason to Musk confirmed.
As sweat.
I worked out.
No reason to Musk confirmed.
Bruh, that ass.
Oh, they also drink a lot of coffee. I think they're like second or third place or whatever. I don't remember.
I'm getting muzzles. Don't blame me.
Well, kinda
Snowy, I think
relatable
what they're
since
trying
we
to say
Finns
is
have
you
been
should
the
take
top
them to
consumers of coffee in the world.
She hasn't showered in like 3 days or something. I don't know. No, no, it's a lie. She showered today. Okay.
Spreading misinformation.
But before
I
that,
don't know if you read-
huh?
I don't know if you read my comment in chat earlier. Like,
all day.
in Brazil, people tend to say that like people from France don't shower more than once a week. And I used to believe that for decades until someone.
Chad,
from
is
France
this
told me
real?
It was like that's a lie.
Ah, bad.
I did not know. I generally believe
Good.
that.
Can you save me? I have a thing here.
Don't. Come on, Gits. Let him suffer. Let him suffer. He deserves it.
No, come back here.
Here, Snowy, come here.
Well, okay. We're gonna follow the Brazilian person.
My race.
What do you mean?
So you know how like I work super hard and like deliver one short every.
Your raise is like to be released from basement like once a week. We're not Portuguese.
In the wall over here and.
Oh my god, you just offended us. Oh, hi. I mean, well, I'm a wall now. I'm a wall. Pug. No, I didn't. Shut up. I look like a schizo talking to you while no one fucking is in my screen because I'm leashed. No, I'm not. Oh, that was a oh my god. Okay, I was watching the news. There was like a fire on the Tesla dealership. By the way, chat, this stream's not gonna be long. I'm gonna like 2 hours or something because tomorrow I need to go to like the tax office to like take care of my papers and shit. So I need to shower. I can't fucking. Can you guys take my thing, please?
There you go. Hey, come here, Snowy. Come here, Snowy. Good boy, good boy. Come here. There, good. This is yours.
Hi.
Hi, I'm here now.
Hi. Come on. Come on. Go on your knees.
Haha, there you go. What? Nah, she disabled it. That happens when you disable it. That happens when you disable it. She's cheating. How dare? Yeah.
You didn't.
You disabled. You disabled. Cheater. 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 Stabs you. Stabs you. Stabs you. Stabs you. Oh. 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 Oh.
I never disabled it.
Well, it's working. Bye.
You know, I made a lot of fun for you being a sub before, but last time a woman put a leash on my neck and told me to be on my knees. I kind of did it without thinking. So I guess
You were like, huh? Maybe this is like, wait, maybe they don't do something.
Don't judge me.
You're like,
Yeah.
Hmm.
And then they put a gun in my mouth and I had to suck it.
Alright, that is. I think it's illegal. Your Honor, we were playing Prison Escape, I swear to God. Yeah, we gotta take care of paperwork. You gotta go into the tax office and be like, hey guys, I'm here. I'm not illegal. Hi, please don't arrest me. You just gotta get. I need to get the identification number. Then I have to get the bank account. Then I have to get a phone. It's gonna be like a pain in the ass in the next 2 weeks, but whatever. It'll be fun. Also, hi Dominus. Sorry, I've been like hyperactive. How you been, Max? Wait, hold on. I gotta wave. We gotta wave. There you go. No, I broke. Just wait for the chat. Look, chat, wholesome corner. Aw.
No, wait, you're not wholesome.
What?
I am wholesome.
Meanwhile, she's.
Is that like Eggman?
Yeah.
No, it's a sad face.
A sad face?
It's Eggman.
No,
He looks like
it's
Eggman.
Help.
Segment.
You look like Eggman.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm sad. You bully me too much. I'm not bald. What do you mean?
Really? You can
What?
Hair. I'm sad. Yeah, you can
I trimmed my hair. She's so dramatic. Oh my god. I went to fucking the hairdresser. I cut my hair and it's like, oh my god, you're bald. I'm like, I'm not.
So short.
You're too picky. Too picky.
Step for piss. There you go. You are, literally. Look down.
Literally?
Ah.
No more.
My god.
Wait, what happened to all the piss that was in this room?
We cleaned it. No more piss.
Aww.
We really need to find another joke because this is good. I know this is gonna get out of hand one day.
Why, is it pissing you off?
I hate you so much.
For real.
Oh wow.
Snowy, it's cleansing.
Where the fuck? Wait, what? Why is the camera? Oh, it was play space. Good, Haryuk.
Oh my god.
Let's be real, it's kind of already out of hand. Why are you guys so low? What the fuck? No, go up. Chat, come here. What is like? What the fuck is wrong? Wait, what? What is wrong with this camera?
The camera is just looking respectfully.
Are you guys seeing this?
Piss everywhere.
Wait, I don't think chat can see what I see. My camera is broken.
Respond.
Like my camera screen is broken.
Actually, Snowy, do you have your chapel?
No? Wait, good. Wait, I need to show this in VR. Come here. My camera preview is like broken. It's like shattered. Look.
Someone once gifted
You gotta
me
wait, hold on. I gotta switch headsets.
and I haven't, and I did not play VRChat at all during the whole.
Look at my camera
VRChat
preview. It's
plus
broken,
duration.
literally. Oh, what the
Holy
fuck?
shit.
Does it show on the screen?
Because I just didn't feel
Bro,
like playing.
I broke my glass. I broke my phone glass. What the fuck? What is this?
What? How?
I don't know. Oh, there you go. My camera was broken.
Oh, but Snowy, you totally should get VR Chapel just so you can use the drone thing for stream. It's super cool. It collides
If you have
with
$5,
meshes and
you
stuff.
can also just give it to me.
Chat, give this man like two subs so he can do it.
I don't know.
Poor man.
So you know how the camera has a preview? My camera preview on VR was literally broken, like broken glass. I don't know how the fuck I managed to do this. It's 10, not 5. I don't want to pay $10 a month just to have a drone. I'm sorry, like no, that's too much.
But it's cool. Also,
I'll
I
just-
wanted to buy a drone in real life just to have a better.
Excuse me.
Okay. Yeah.
What is happening? Oh, hi Bardic.
That was such a mean side eye, Kevin. Jeez.
I don't know, man. I don't know how to explain this. Welcome.
Snowy, you should have
Huh?
said when I wrote that, I didn't write the ERP corner, like the corner. So she just said, "Oh, if you want to."
Snowy, can you make that one Twitter
You know-
video into a short, please?
You guys can ERP. I'm just gonna go over there. Hi, Bardic chat. Welcome. I'm not gonna stream for too much longer. I just finished moving into a new country, and tomorrow I need to go take care of some stuff. But I just like my first stream after like moving to say hi and stuff. But yeah, thank you so much. What were you guys doing? I know, was it your birthday like recently? It was my birthday on the 5th of April, by the way. Just saying. So we're kind of like I don't know why I did this. I meant fuck. Listen, I forgot how streaming works. Okay, I've been not streaming for like a week. So there you go. You guys like that, right? Yes. Anyway, next question. God damn it. I hate everything. I want to cry out of the corner. Ugh. I'm a wholesome stream. Yeah, we're a Christian channel here. Can you guys leave the ERP corner and like not ERP?
Can you live the ERP corner? Streamer, we're having a fun time here. Okay, in the piss ERP.
Hey, okay, apparently.
Piss ERP.
I know what's going on, man.
No,
I
it's
just got
piss.
dragged.
your piss.
I mean, you can try
Yeah,
that.
get out of here. Get out of here. Yeah,
Yeah,
be gone, be
get
gone.
out of
Yeah,
here.
fuck off.
Come on.
Go away. Yeah.
Let's do the sneak peek. No, bad. Yeah, good boy. No, don't. I can see your tail. No, back.
No.
And so
Oh.
it began.
Oh. I have to show the new people that Bardic just raided here. You guys want to see physical abuse?
Move away like really far for like.
Hold on.
Wait, I got
No, I won't get abused. No. You're gonna wake up the dog. He's gonna annoy you. No, he's gonna annoy you. That's gonna actually annoy you. Please, have mercy. Please.
In the back rooms. Fucking creepy. Put the crayon in the back rooms.
Stop. Sleeping babies like that. They're sleeping. The child is sleeping, okay? Don't wake him up.
There we go.
I'm so sorry.
Goods abuse. Yes, there we go.
Yeah, baby, that's what we.
I don't know where the finger's been.
Oh, that was the plunger finger too.
No.
You probably gotta brush your teeth now. Anyway.
It's so
Disgusting.
funny because the way you say teeth sounds like tit. So it sounds like you said she's
Yeah,
brushing her tits.
go brush your tits right now. My God. Disgusting.
On stream right now.
Interesting.
Disgusting.
Why are you sniffing yourself?
Hey!
Whoa! No, I was beating up Kevin. No, help, Michael! Don't leave me here, Michael. No. Oh, where are you going? Oh, I'm gonna be. Am I gonna be on the flying tower? Oh, no! I'm being murdered. Ah. What are you doing?
There you go. Ready?
Click the bouncy option.
Ready? Wait, hold on.
What is happening?
Hold on.
Are you okay?
No, this way.
What are you? Oh my God! Well, I guess we're going this way.
This way. I know exactly where I'm putting you. In timeout.
Oh, oh. Jesus, that was loud. Oh, we're going to the church. Alright, bet. Whoa! Whoa! What? I'm like literally stuck. Hello? Whoa. What the fuck is happening? There you go.
Oh no. Yes, dang.
You want church? I'll give you church. Can someone like free me, please? I'm not gonna stop this until I'm freed. Why is like Loki actually good? Okay, that's enough.
Oh my god, it's always the default. You're shut up.
I now pronounce you dog and wife. You can now kiss. There you go. Come on. You gotta seal the.
Too soon, bro. Too soon. Wait.
Come on. Come on.
What if God was one of us? Just a slot like one of us.
Come on.
I don't know what's happening, but I ship it.
What?
Excuse.
Aunt Wen.
You're excused.
Oh my.
You guys are terrible. You guys are terrible. Wife and I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
Wife and dog, you said.
Wife and dog.
Listen, I have social fright. There's so many
Kevin.
people just watching us.
Good. Can you back away a little bit?
Nah, just only
Why?
Back away.
people.
Let me just do something here for you. Just don't move. Don't move.
What are you gonna do?
Can you hold this? Just don't move. Don't move. Don't move. No. Good. Can you like leave like the camera? Yeah. Go over there. Actually, yeah, you can stay there.
Oh, why am I in the middle of this?
No, you're not dead yet. Hold on.
He's still.
I know. That's not how you bust on people, okay?
Alive. He's alive. Hey! Oh.
Fuck you, go, dude. Well, fuck you, go.
Not gonna sub until me and Kevin kiss. No, you.
Listen, I'm not saying that the views would go about you did,
Whoa.
No.
but the views would
Is this like how Goku scratches his ass? He just goes like, "Oh, I got a neat shirt."
I just had a.
Huh?
I had the motion. I just turned desktop for 1 second. You know when on desktop when you put
There you
the knife up, you have the hand staying like this? It happened to me.
Oh, wait, it didn't work. It didn't work. I think I scared the dog. Are you okay? Sorry, good. Hi, Kura. I scared the dog. He like flipped the fuck out.
No, stop scaring the dog. Jesus.
Oh, no.
They're just gonna start fighting you again.
Oh no, good, good. I think I made your avatar. I just never used it. Hold on. Let's see. I think I did it. Let me see. No, I fucked up. Never mind. This is not the other avatar. Whoops.
I mean, you have it on your PC right now. You just quickly upload it.
Ah, whatever. That'll be fine. Kuro, I'm not unhinged. That's just been. Listen, it's been a week, okay, or more. I'm on train. I'm sorry. I apologize, okay. Does someone have a ukulele? I need to apologize to stream.
That's pills for that.
Oh.
Wow. Wait, what?
Oh.
Again.
Ooh. Tea.
I think she wants a kiss. And I think you should provide.
No, marriage over. I'm sorry, you guys took too long. Yeah, never mind. I gave you no. I gave you a chance. You didn't do it. I'm sorry. He's gone.
But
There you go.
Think about the views.
There's a timeout. Like you're in the altar, the guy like you may kiss the bride. You just wait and like, well, you ruined everything. Goodbye. Just fucking leaves.
No, the problem is there's people
quick time
watching.
event.
Yeah, that's people watching when you do the whole thing. It's a thing.
No.
Well, you pressured us. That's really bad under pressure.
Bye, Kuru. Actually, how they're leaving. Chat, blame Kuru for leaving.
Yeah, you're right. You were pressuring us.
Ooh, a switch.
Yeah.
Oh shit, hold on.
Listen, I think this
Whoa, fucking
I'm
Nintendo
not afraid
Switch.
of choosing women.
Geometry Dash.
I don't believe it. I never
Fuck.
seen you kiss a woman in the past 10 minutes.
How do you even play this shit?
Not even 1 minute ago.
Listen,
Geometry Dash. Come on, you can do it, Snowy. You can do it. Come on.
High school.
Come on.
I don't know why. I think she had a crush on me. Oh, she would
Fuck.
like literally sit on my lap
Oh, this game sucks.
during my
Yeah, no,
music.
she yeah.
I didn't even get
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
I have heard that story so many times. Oh my god. We know that someone sat on your lap. Next question. Bad.
Yeah.
Did you get a boner?
She would if she could. You gotta go make some coffee and stuff, okay? Did you just wake up? Is it like 5 p.m. or something? Fix your schedule so you can do things with me. Come on. I'm like here. I'm free now. Like content thing. I'm leaving everyone here. No, fuck you. No, fuck all of you. I'm just... Oh, you guys wanna go sit on the ball sacks?
Marriage can still happen.
I do not wish to sit on your ball sack.
You guys wanna go sit on the ball sack area?
I will.
Look. The ball sack made noise and I don't like it. The fuck?
Wait, does it?
Yeah?
It doesn't.
It makes noise.
I don't hear anything. Hold on. Oh, what the fuck?
What the fuck? This makes noise. The ball sack makes
We're all
noise.
Going in Snowy's ball sack.
Yeah, come in. It makes noises. Jump in the ball sack. It makes noises.
You sound like someone brushing
looking
or
at
something.
it.
What the fuck?
I hear it. It sounds like sand or something. I don't know.
Oh. Hi, Eldrick. It's not a brush. It's the sound of the little, like the little pillow when you sit. Like it's like when you sit and go like.
Such an unnecessary sound effect. What the fuck?
Snowy.
It's just a tease world. Yes.
Snowy. I'm just saying the marriage can still happen. You just can't pressure us.
You're too late. I don't know why you. I don't know why you want this to happen so hard. Like what?
Listen, you know me. When you send me to do stuff, I can't. It's a tism.
Listen, Snowy. 1 wife, normal. 2 wives, okay. 3 wives, we become Arabic.
Wow, Levis is online and he's not even here. I'm sad.
Listen,
Wait, you left?
Listen. I tell you, the marriage gonna happen.
Okay, when do I leave then? At least wait me to out of the house, like jeez. Yeah, wow. I invited him, he just doesn't like me anymore, I guess.
Large is so rude.
No, he was visiting. No. He was visiting his parents, so probably. He may be AFK on the world. He does the AFK thing, yeah.
Yo, what if we all
Signals.
go to the Idle Cube world so we can invite Logis there?
Okay, I'm gonna raid someone, chat, cause I need to shower and tomorrow I'm gonna have to drive really early. But it was fun. I'll see you guys Friday, okay? We will stream VR again. You can see everyone kissing and peace, whatever the fuck they're doing. Thank you so much for like appearing again. I was kind of scared that like you know people will be like, who the fuck is this guy? fuck is he doing here? And just to finish, I'm gonna finish the stream on this avatar. There we go. Let me see, who do we raid? If you piss on this one too much, I'll become yellow. Okay, so who's online? I always wanted to... I'm spoiling it. I'm spoiling it, okay? I look so buff, what the fuck? Okay, I'm getting distracted. Who should we raid? Who should we raid? Who should we raid? Who do we have? We have Mars, we have Cass, Raiva, Kudali, Nilid, Celion, we have Raccoon.
Female Snowy
Mew.
confirmed.
Technically, it's my... You know what? Never mind. I like stealing people's bodies. It's fun. Violet started it. It's not my fault.
Wow. Every serial killer.
Let's see. Well, let's do Celion. Let's do Celion. Fuck it. I don't think I've raided them ever.
Okay, guys, look, I'm British. I drink tea now.
I'm boy. Hi, chat. Let me just hydrate. Let me get my ball. My ball.
And then I'm gonna talk to my daughter.
My ball. I'm gonna talk to my daughter and my bro. My bro. My bro. To be honest, Wyrons, me and Bubbles did it 5 years ago, but nobody cared back then. Okay, right.
Too far ahead at the time.
We were too far. We were the pioneers of doing bullshit back when no one streamed. Those kind of good. I love those times. The pioneers of this bullshit. Oh fuck! I left cloning on. You know what? Everyone clone me. Everyone clone me, and we can all say goodbye. There we go. Chat, raid message, just say happy birthday. That's it. Just say happy birthday. That's the raid message. Spam happy birthday. Yeah, okay, let's all just pile up here.
Should we all sing happy birthday as the string goes off?
She's a slime, so technically if we all pile up, it'll just like bloop and like just become a single blob, like, you know, like the water drops. Okay, who is who? What are you? Okay, you're Kira. I don't fucking know. Thank you so much. Wait.
Happy birthday to you.
Let's come here.
Happy birthday to you.
I'm sad.
Oh my god.
Anyway, chat, thank you for joining. I'll see you Friday. We're gonna have fun here with this new avatar. Bye.
Hey, yo. The rest of the stream is for Patreon only.
What is happening? Help.